Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So what I have for you guys today is from Fox News. Violent mob attacks couple, burns cars during street takeover. So we already know more than likely who the usual suspects are. And so we'll just jump right in so we can see who's bringing the chaos.
All right, this was the chaotic scene in a typically quiet Queens neighborhood over the weekend. A mob of people taking over the streets by driving wildly, and things only escalated from there when they set a car on fire and physically attacked homeowners who tried to intervene. Here's more from that scene and a warning. This footage may be disturbing for some.
So if this happened to like me or my dude, I'm just letting y'all know straight up. Y'all be going home and knowing what it feels like to be inside a body bag. I'm not making threats. I'm just keeping 100 because I ain't the one. I know how to protect myself. And if people are going to threaten me or try and jump me or worse, y'all gonna find out today. And y'all gonna see your girl's real hood side come out. Because I told y'all, I'm originally from Chicago, back of the yards. And those of y'all from Chicago who know what the South Side's all about understands where I'm coming from. And I have a couple of toys in my little arsenal, you know, from little different trinkets, but we should kind of keep that off the board before, you know, because your girl don't want to get in trouble. But let's keep going.
Viewers.
Yo, chill.
And as that violent unrest carried on, residents were apparently told to call a quality of life team and not the NYPD, leading to some major questions over what is to come once the next mayor takes office. Joining me now to discuss is former...
Yeah, this is probably a taste of what they're going to have to deal with when Mondani's in office. They're told to call basically a social worker. How is a social worker? Imagine a social worker pulling up onto a scene like that, where it was a couple dudes, anywhere from 3 to 6 people jumping this guy. What is a social worker supposed to do? How would they quell that? Because they'll probably get their ass beat too. I'm just saying, because none of these people have any home training. You know, you feel me?
New York City Republican Councilman Joe Borelli. Joe, it's good to see you. So this all happened at 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, and some of the residents who tried to intervene were beat up, one so badly that this mob broke his rib and nose and even punched his wife. Who are these people, and why is this happening?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that even people who try to correct this behavior end up worse in this situation. But this is sort of a new trend. We're seeing this happen on TikTok and Instagram and social media, where people sort of take over a street and do all sorts of dangerous car tricks just to get attention. Unfortunately, this incident escalated beyond that when this neighbor came out and said, "Hey, maybe you don't want to cause a ruckus in front of my house at 2:30 in the morning." But this is sort of the lawlessness that we could expect to see when police departments are defunded, when recruitment is down, when the number of overall officers decreases, because their work calls to the police department that night. And unfortunately, the precinct that covers this area simply did not have enough officers to respond. They were responding to what they thought was more pressing incidents nearby, and it took an extra time for it to be addressed as what it was, which was an assault on a neighbor.
Yeah, here's the quote from Vicky Palladino, who represents this area. She said on X, response to this incident was less than ideal. Residents reporting the incident to 911 were told that quality of life teams and 911 should handle the situation. Unacceptable. In fact, these violent...
Correction, she said 911 should handle the situation, but it literally says 311 on there. I think this is ridiculous. Again, like I said, what is a social worker going to do in this situation? They ain't going to do a nada, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like this is just ridiculous that you have this and, you know, these people are okay with... It's frustrating, bro. It's so frustrating dealing with the Democrats. Like, you see the issue and you're like, simple fix, send the cops. But then again, all the cops are leaving because Mom Donnie wants to replace them all with social workers. So a lot of these cops are saying, see ya, learn the deal, because we ain't going to be here to help y'all. And what's going to happen? You're going to have increase of violence and murks and, grapes and SAs. Like, the list is going to go on and on and on and on, because none of these people have consequences in these blue areas. And that's the real sad part, is that it's going to be innocent people that are going to be hurt, not, anyone else. But let's keep going.
Street takeovers should be met with maximum force by the police department. The police later apologized and said that they thought that this was a drag racing incident and they didn't have enough police officers at the time to handle this situation. That raises a lot of questions, because the police commissioner right now, Jessica Tisch, says she wants to increase the number of police officers on the force. The incoming mayor says the numbers we have right now are fine. So what do you think about this debate?
But he's wrong. I mean, he's 100% wrong. We had 2,500 officers resign in 2025 or retire in 2025. Mayor Adams announced the department would budget for 5,000 additional officers to make up for multiple years of shortfall. That is the right approach. Mayor Adams should reconsider. And to talk about having some quality of life team address this is ridiculous. These kids don't need a guidance counselor or midnight basketball. They need to be punished. They need to be punished immediately. There needs to be police on the scene. Unfortunately, this incident is one where if police were here earlier, when this 911 call first came through, it would not have resulted in an assault. It would have been just a case of perhaps some teenagers misbehaving. Maybe some summonses would have been issued. But because the police didn't respond, it escalated into an assault on a neighbor.
Yeah, it's a great point. And it's called a quality of life team now, which I don't think many New Yorkers even knew existed. But Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani also wants to create this department of community safety, where social workers respond to some crimes, shifting responsibility away from the police department. So could we see more of this type of response? And is this the right plan to keep New Yorkers safe?
Yeah, look, Carly, we certainly fail on the second responders, the people who come after the police, the children's services, the domestic violence counselors. We're not doing a good job following up after those incidents. That's 100% accurate. Mayor Mamdani is right to focus on that. The problem is he wants those people to be the first responders. We know domestic violence incidents are some of the most dangerous incidents police officers respond to, and we would never want to jeopardize their safety, the jeopardy of the victim, and even the safety of the attacker in some cases, by having a community safety officer respond. We should have the police respond as they do, and then make an assessment on what the follow-up should be, not vice versa. It'll be too long before we can get an armed police officer there should things go wrong, if one of these, community social workers show up, without a police officer.
Yeah, it's remarkable footage. I mean, this quiet Queens neighborhood ended up looking like a war zone on Sunday night, and these poor residents just had to deal with it. And when they tried to intervene, they got beat up as a result. Former New York City Republican Councilman Joe Borelli, thank you for joining us this morning to break it all down.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
So yeah, that's basically what's going on right now in New York, which is insane. Like I said, everything is just on fire at this point. It's getting like Mad Max out there. So I don't know. You guys give me your thoughts in the comment below. Do you think that having all these social workers would help in the situation? Or do you think Mamdani needs to scrap that and just do what, Eric Adams said and hire a bunch more police officers? So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Till next time, guys.